What's up, everybody? We get a little bit clarification about the definition of the GDP for the last class, but right now it's time to learn the components of the GDP, actually what they are. Okay, let's go! Spending in economy takes many forms. For example, I might be having a lunch at the restaurant, for example KFC, or the Uzbekistan Airlines buying the plane from the Boeing. There are two types of the spending, right? So to understand it clearly, the economy is using its scarce resources, where the economy is really interested in the composition of the GDP. Actually, there are the four types of the spending. I mean that the GDP is composed of the four parts. For example, four components. They are the ones is the consumption, second is investment, third is the government purchase, fourth is the net exports. Let's learn about them. Consumption is a consume, that we know that the meaning of the consumption, very easy, right? So the consumption is spending on the goods and the services actually by the household. Actually is we are the individuals. Well, the goods divided into the two parts. They are the durable goods, for example automobiles, applicants, and the non-durable goods. For example, there are food, clothing, maybe shoes. Okay, and then there are the service, which we mentioned, that is the, we can call it service content into the intangible goods, right? For example, the health care, for example, the medical care, doctor visits. What's more, the it's also included education. Spending on education is part of the consumption of the service. Investment is so easy to understand, right? We can hear every day about that. For example, there are financial investments, bond, stock, mutual funds, right? But this investment is different from them. Please be careful. Investment is here means used to purchase of goods that will be used in near future in order to produce the goods and services. It's also, they're the components. What they are? They're the capital equipment, inventories, what's more structures. It also include the household we are spending on new housing, actually the expenditure on new housing. This is the meaning of the investments here. Government purchase is so easy to understand, right? So government purchase is, that means that the spending on goods and services by local, state, federal governments. Well, so it includes the salary of the workers and the spending on the public works. Yeah, we can understand easily, because you know that we can work in a public, any work, for example, in a bank. So in a month we can get our salary, right? It's the government purchase. And what's more, the spending on the public works. For example, our countryside looks very old 10 years ago. But right now, because of the government spending on public works, right now our countryside that looks very modern as a city. Net export looks a little bit complicated, but if you listen to me carefully, you can understand very easy way. Okay, let's go. Okay, net export equals the purchase of domestically produced goods by foreigners minus the domestic purchase of the foreign goods. Quite easy, right? So, for example, Boeing sells its own planes to the Uzbekistan Airways. In this case, there's subtraction. Export has to be subtracted from the import. Well, otherwise, it can be included in other components of the GDP. For example, consumer spending, or the government purchase, or the investment. That's the case. Subtraction is going to be here.